Welcome to my podcast, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. My name is Vickie Poole. I'm a master transformational coach and hypnotist specializing in habit change. And this podcast is sponsored by the Enlightened Peach. And it's all about embracing our mosaic life. Now, some of you may ask, what is a mosaic life anyway? Well, it is recognizing that all the pieces of our life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, have all come together to make us who we are. Change any one thing, and we are different. With that in mind, I invite you to embrace your perceived imperfections and celebrate who you are. This podcast is unedited and raw, just like life. And I am your host, and I have a special guest that I want to introduce in just a moment. But before I do, I would love for you to do me a solid, and that is leave a comment and remember to like, subscribe, and share. So now let's get started. So this lovely lady here, Laura Diaz, we know each other from being in a group together where we follow the same person and get a lot of amazing business advice and connection advice. And she was talking one day and it was like, I think I want to talk to her. And so she has graciously accepted coming on to the podcast to share a little bit about her story, which I don't know a lot. So I'm really excited to tap in with it too. So I'm going to let Laura tell you a little bit about who she is, and then we'll get into the conversation. So go ahead, Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura. It's great to be here with everyone tonight or today. I'm in Brazil, so I'm kind of on a later time zone. But yeah, it's great to be here. I just am a regular gal. I started a retreat business in Peru. And so I've been doing that for 7 or 8 years. And then now I just started a new company called Ignite Your Life. And my idea with that is to help people in transition get unstuck through adventure. So to me, adventure is anything that interrupts your routine and your thought patterns and includes a little element of the unknown. I'm doing this program to get people to start small and start getting all the benefits that adventure offers, like increased happiness, life satisfaction, confidence, creativity, increased intuition, all those things.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So, I'm really, really curious. You've had been doing these retreats for 7 years, you said, right?
Right.
So, what did you do before that?
Before that, oh, I had all kinds of jobs. I was a teacher as my main career.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked for the TSA for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of went on my own, started selling. I love to travel, so I started selling jewelry from Ecuador and Colombia. And then I found alpaca products and I started selling those. And then I said, well, I should go to the Mecca of alpaca, which is Cusco, Peru. And when I went there, I hired a guy to be my interpreter for business. And he said, I have this group of 17 people. I'm taking on a hike for 4 days through the jungle to Machu Picchu. You should come along. So I went along and I was just amazed. He was super fun. He was knowledgeable. Everybody felt safe. He was just great. And I had never really traveled with a guide before, so I wasn't really aware of what it was like, but I thought he was wonderful. And I said, what do you make for this 4 day trek through the jungle with 17 people? And he said, oh, about $100 because the tour companies keep all the money. And I said,
Right.
we should change that and start a company where you can make what you're worth. And so that's what we did.
Oh, wow. How cool is that? So, that's who you're in business with now?
Yes, that's what I'm in business with now.
Okay,
Freedom
beautiful.
Retreats, the other company I'm starting on my own.
Okay. So, how much does he make now?
Now he makes about $150 a day.
All right. All right. I love it. I love it. So I don't know, that is just such a huge leap, right? So you went from being a teacher to getting into sales, and then your sales started taking you all over the place. And I mean, a lot of people would feel like that was very daunting, but it sounds like that was just right up your alley. So when you were really young, what did you want to be when you were young?
I just wanted to travel. When I was
So
really
the
young,
travel bugs had been in you from birth.
it has, but when I was young, I wanted to travel to get away. I
Ah,
want to go so far away from here. But then as I really began to travel, then I started traveling to places, instead
Okay.
of running away as I grew.
Yeah. So what were you running away from? Just the area itself, or was there like issues with people that got you to wanting to leave?
Yeah, I guess just the issues with a couple of things well, one main thing that I memory that I have when I was a kid, and we moved to a new city, and when I was think I was in like maybe
Where were you
eighth grade,
born, by the way?
Minnesota.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're far away from home. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Um, I was in about eighth grade, and I had moved to a new school, and these girls all were having a party and everything, and they didn't invite me. And then they called from the party to laugh at me for not being invited to the party. And
Hmm.
that sparked something in me that said, people don't like me. People don't
Yeah.
like me. And when you get a belief, then you act on that belief and then you make that belief true, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
So then I became just this, I was the loudest, I was and became the person that they didn't like. But I just for so many years lived with that people don't like me. So I guess I was trying to run away from that. But you never run away from those things.
That's
They
right. I
had.
know. I used to tell my son all the time because he had a propensity to get in with the wrong crowd. And so he thought the solution was to move to another state. And I said, wherever you go with you. And there's a reason why you're attracting those people. You have conversations with those people. I said, because, it's very easy not to get in with those people. And I said, so no matter where you go, there you are. And it's not the solution. You got to work on you, which you know how it is when you tell a teenager that.
Yes.
Eh.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So, how old were you when you left that area?
Oh, I don't remember. Well, I moved away, I think when I was like 18 or something. I first
Mm-hmm.
moved to Arizona, stayed down there for a while, and I would just always do that. I would go until I just felt like things weren't good, and then I would move away
Mm-hmm.
because, and then it would happen again. So
Yeah.
everywhere, like we were saying, everywhere you go, you take that with you. And then I really had to just figure out that the problem was me and start doing the work.
So what did you do to start with?
I just started journaling. I started reading the Bible
Mm-hmm.
because I needed something to, I guess, believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I started. Yeah. And that really helped me because what I would do was like, I would, I really think that when you decide that you want to change, that you just have to lean in a little bit, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you'll see the way to go. So the first thing I saw was my anger issue, how I would get so angry at everybody all the time. And then I saw the issue that I had with offense. I would get so offended. Oh, how could they say that? How could they do that? How could they, judging everybody else. And so what I learned to do was to get like a little mantra. Like when I would get angry, then I would say, okay, I'm not going to be an angry person. I don't want to be angry. That's not me. So every time I would act in that angry way, then I would say, that's not me. I had to have some sort of phrase just to catch myself at that moment.
Right.
And so that was one of them was I'd say, that's not me. I acted angrily, but that's not me. And so then it would just get further and further. And I was able to, you know, not that I
Yeah.
never get angry anymore, of course, but,
Well, you are
but
human, I think, right?
I would get angry and have conversations in my head with people, and then I wouldn't remember what was really said and what had just been in my head. And
Yeah.
it was a horrible way to live.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, right? They
Yeah,
rehearse all the way things can go wrong for a lot of times, right? I
right.
share a story a lot of times about um, there was a woman that I would go to lunch with a group of people. And we went once a month, and there was one woman there that always knew exactly what to say to get under my skin every single time. And it's like I started dreading, oh, please, maybe she won't say anything to me. Maybe she'll sit way over there. And I'd rehearse in my head the whole time going, right? And it would turn out exactly that way. And finally, one day I said, I know better than this. I've studied this stuff for such a long time. Let me just rehearse it going differently. And let's just, for kicks and giggles, see what happens. So I rehearsed, showing up, being happy to get there, and that she was the first person to greet me and give me a hug and tell me how much she was excited to see me. We sat together in my imagination, of course, and we had a great conversation. We included the other people, and then when I left, she gave me a hug, said, "It was so great to see you today." I left happy and everything was great. So I go to this luncheon the very next day, and the first person that comes up to my car to speak to me is her. And she said, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here." And I thought, "Oh, okay, that's working. It's working." And then lo and behold, I go to the bathroom, and then when I come out, the only spot open to sit is right beside her, which I never would have probably gone to the bathroom before because I would have been making sure I was getting in a seat not anywhere near her. So I sat beside her and we had a very pleasant conversation. And it wasn't just us talking, we were talking to other people and stuff. And then when we go to leave, she walked up to me and said, "I'm so glad we got to connect today." And then I went home and it was like, what a difference just planning on it to go differently made, you know? Now, do I do that every single time? No, because sometimes it's like something gets in your crawl and it's hard to pivot out of it. But I do everything I can now to purposely start if I catch myself going to that place of practicing things and how I'll respond to how bad they go. I'll I'll catch myself and kind of like what you do, and I will just say, "Stop, I can do this better." And then I'll try to rephrase it, at least where it's a little more comfortable. It doesn't have to be all kicks and giggles and happiness, just better. And it makes a tremendous difference.
Yeah, I think sometimes you know how they say other people are a mirror, and I think you have to discern whether they're mirror triggering you because they're a mirror to you in some way, or if they're just, some people are just not kind people.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sit by them.
That's right.
But
That's right.
sometimes it's just some kind of trigger that you don't even know why. And when you really get to know the person, then there is no problem because they weren't ever trying to do anything to you. You were just,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Interpreting something they said or did and having a memory attached to it from what somebody
Oh,
else said or
exactly.
did. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, I used to be offended by everything.
Hmm.
Everybody, and they never were meaning to. They didn't, do
Yeah.
anything wrong, but I just took offense to everything. So that was another thing I had to, among many that I had to deal with.
Well, like Donkey says in Shrek, we're onions and you peel us back a layer at a time. So even when you get something and you think, "Oh, finally," and then it's like, boop, there comes another one. So it's an ongoing process. And once you learn how to do all this stuff, seeing those things pop up don't derail you as much as they used to, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. In
yeah,
fact, now it's kind of like bring it on
that's
because I know
right.
on the other side it's so much better.
Ah,
It's
that's
really
right.
have to go through. It's never usually as hard as, I think you're more afraid of what's going to come up or whatever
Yeah,
than
yeah.
what it is really when you really look at it.
Yeah. So, are you married? Do you have children?
I am not married. I have been married. I have two boys who are
Hmm.
both in the military.
Oh, okay. So, how old are they?
They are 29 and 30.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So,
guessing.
do what?
I'm guessing. No, I think I'm close. I should say they're 19 and 20.
That's
No.
it. Just make something up. Nobody will know.
I'm not old enough to have 30-year-old children, but
That's how I feel a lot of times too. It's like when somebody says, "How old are your children?" Sometimes I'll leave the older one out. And he'll say, "Mom, you don't ever talk about me." I know.
you're too old.
That's right. That's right. He's always quite offended, but that's okay. That's okay. He'll get over it. So you're living in Brazil, right?
Well, I'm
No, no.
visiting Brazil. Normally, I'm in Cusco because that's where my business is. That's where the retreat business is. But
Okay.
I just took a little break and came to Brazil. In fact, in about, I think in a week or so, I'm going to go to Paraguay.
Okay. See, I've never been in that area of the world. So it's fascinating to me. So what's your favorite thing to do is this your first time in Brazil? I'm assuming not.
My first time in Brazil,
Is it
yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I never planned on going to Brazil because I always knew that Americans needed a visa
Mm-hmm.
to Brazil. But then I have a friend and she said, "Oh, you should go." She's from Brazil. And I said, "I think I'm going to get out of Peru for a while because you only get to spend so much time there on a tourist visa.
Okay.
So
What
instead
is
of
it
using
like?
the time,
Like
what?
11 months or something like that?
No, 6 months.
6 months? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I want to be there when I have retreats going on. So I said, I'm not going to use up all my time. I'm going to go somewhere. And she said, Oh, you should go to Brazil. And I said, I can't get in. I need a visa. She goes, No, you don't need a visa anymore. In fact, they've suspended that, but they're starting it up again on such and such date. So then it just worked out for me to get here 3 days
It's
before
like they
they,
planned it for you.
right. So I got here 3 days before they implemented the visa again.
Beautiful,
But
beautiful.
I just love it. I'm on an island called Florianopolis. It's off the southern coast of Brazil or the eastern coast of Brazil, and it's just
Hmm.
beautiful. It's beautiful, and I'm here during the off season, which I love because now it's not packed with people. It's not
Yeah.
boiling hot. The ocean is still beautiful. I have an apartment that looks out over the ocean. I'm just a few blocks from the beach, so
Nice, nice. So is it Portuguese that people speak there?
it's
Um,
Portuguese. Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking so. Do you speak Portuguese?
I don't speak Portuguese. And
Okay.
everyone said, but you speak Spanish, so you'll do be fine. And that's not true.
Yeah. That's kind of like,
Uh,
one language to the next. It may sound similar to an untrained ear, but it's not
Yeah,
the
I mean, I
same.
can recognize some words, but I don't know what people are saying. So
Yeah.
no.
So how do you handle that?
You just, well, you use your phone a lot and the translator on your
Okay.
phone.
Thank
It's one
God for
thing. Or
that
you're,
technology, right?
yeah, and then, or just pointing or,
Yeah.
acting something out or whatever.
Yeah.
The
So
door
how long have you been
man.
there?
I've been here 3 months
Okay.
and I've got another week. Yeah.
All right.
Then I'm
All
going to
right.
go to Paraguay where they speak Spanish again. So I'll do better there.
Yeah, see, I'd still be sunk. I don't speak Spanish either. I need to get into some languages, but I swear when I was in high school, I took French. I wasn't very good at it. I took it in college. I wasn't very good at it there either. I kind of gave up on French. I've learned some sign language, which doesn't help me when I go to a foreign country, but hey, um, then I've played a little bit with Spanish, just barely, but I definitely I want to travel. I'm not right away, but I'm wanting to travel, so I feel like, okay, well, this is my little wake up call to go ahead and start playing with some language stuff, right?
Yeah, and I mean you can go real slow, just learn a phrase a week. I think it works really well to do like the method where you listen to conversations. They say the conversation in English and then in the other language, and so you
Mhm.
learn everything in
Okay,
context rather than trying to study a bunch of verbs or something.
that sounds good. Yeah. Well, I can say when I many years ago I dated a guy who was a Spanish teacher, and one of the things he did was he took Spanish in high school, but then he went to and I don't remember exactly where he went, but he did like a 3 months there and just immersed into the language. And he said he learned more in that process than he did the whole time in school. And so then he was so much better at the language afterwards that he was able to test and take some extra courses. And he became a really big Spanish teacher in the school system with all these different degrees and everything. It was amazing. And the I wasn't used to Spanish speaking. And we would go to a Mexican restaurant, and he would speak Spanish the whole time we were there. And I think, oh man, that is so cool. But I'd still never learned. But I will.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit at a time.
That's it. That's it. So that's good advice. Do the language thing where you just listen into the actual conversations. So I
Yeah,
will.
and I mean really when you're immersed, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. So, when you're doing your retreats in Peru, do you own a retreat place or do you just coordinate the retreats in a particular place?
No, I don't own a place, but we have a place that we use that we really love. It works out. It's really great for us. It's outside of Cusco. Cusco is at a very high altitude. It's like at 11,000 feet or something like that.
Hmm.
And so a lot of people have difficulty with the altitude. So this hotel that we use is called the Royal Inca. It is in this town called Pisac, which is at a lower altitude, 40 minutes out of Cusco. So that's helpful for people. It's got all the amenities. It's got a Olympic-sized pool. It's got meeting rooms of every size. It's got a walking path, tennis courts. There's a river that runs along beside it, which is perfect for when people want to get out and, sit along the river or hike along the river. And so it's worked out really well for us. And we work really well with them. So
So what kind of retreats do you have? Is
what I
there a
do
variety? What do
is
you do?
Yeah, yeah. What I do is I find people that have a community and they want to go on a retreat. And
Okay.
then I plan everything for them and take care of everything. When you think of all the details that are involved in a retreat, I do not really understand how people can plan the whole thing and then do the retreat.
Yeah.
How can you really be into what you're teaching if you're, talking to the chef and the band's 5 minutes late and the da-da-da, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
many details that I don't see. I mean, so I think, and not only that, but like if I thought of planning another retreat in a different country, I wouldn't be able to do that either because, unless you're going to go to a five-star hotel and stay at a hotel the whole time.
Right.
But what
Right.
we do is we do just all kinds of really cool adventures that we go to energetic places. I mean, of course, we go to Machu Picchu, but Machu Picchu is kind of one of the least energetic places, in my opinion, just because of the traffic that's
Right.
there,
Because it's very commercial.
respect the energy.
Yeah.
But we go to a lot of places that, no one will even be there. We go to this place called Nalpa Church. It's got a really interesting myth to it that there was a people that lived there and the light and the earth changed and they couldn't take it, so they had to go underground. So then they say, don't go to Nalpa Church at dusk or dawn because it'll be too much energy.
Oh,
And
how
so,
cool is that? So what's the
but
favorite retreat that you've been able to create?
Well, what my favorite retreat was one that I didn't end up creating because everything went wrong. Not everything went wrong, but we had a guy that wanted to come from South Dakota. He's a farmer there and he wanted to see the coffee farms.
Hmm.
So we went to the guy that is my business partner, Carlos. He's half Quechua and he grew up in Cusco. He's been guiding for like 20 years. But when he was a kid, he walked through the jungles with his mom because she was a teacher and she
Hmm.
taught in these remote Quechua schools. So he would go with her. So we went to this remote town where he knew people that had a coffee plantation. We took him there and they didn't have a phone or anything and no way to get a hold of him. So he just shows up with these people, and we're waiting at their house and all of a sudden this lady comes up when we went there, it was such a steep hill to get up that I said, I am not leaving until we leave. I'm not doing that hill again because it's hard. It's so hard. It's just like straight up. And this lady comes out of the coffee field and she's got her machete and her lunch pail or whatever. And she's like 80 years old and she just comes out of there all spry and she was just beautiful. And so like, you know. So we visited her and then it's like stay for dinner, which means, killing a chicken or she cooked chicken for us, but they have, guinea pigs running around the kitchen. They eat a lot of guinea pig
Ooh.
here or there in Costco. So we were there and the our transportation, which happens sometimes, said, "Oh, I got another job. I'm going to go do that." So we were on in this coffee plantation way out in the middle of nowhere without a ride. So so Carlos went and got a kid from the neighborhood who had a motorcycle and he said, "Go get your friends that have motorcycles. We need to get down the mountain." So we got these kids on motorcycles to take us down. And this guy from South Dakota was just like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." He's got his GoPro on. He just thought it was so cool. He was so happy to be going down the mountain on a motorcycle, instead of in a van. So
Yeah.
he went to like the main road. This van comes by and Carlos goes out, he talks to the guy and he says, "Come on," we get in the van and we're like, "This is the transportation you hooked up for us?" Like, what's going on? Well, later we find out that the guy stopped and let us go, but Carlos hadn't planned this transportation. The guy recognized him from when he was a little boy and his mom taught
Oh
there.
my.
And she had such a good reputation and he remembered Carlos from then, even though he's a grown man now. And that's why he stopped and picked us up. So that was just
Oh.
that was just, it was just so cool. And it was like everything was going wrong, but it was really going
Yeah,
right,
that's
up
right.
being
It sounds like it.
better than what we planned.
That's a beautiful story. I love that. I love that. Um, so what's up your sleeve now? Because you've been doing so much, and I know you're going back to do some stuff. And you're going, where did you say you're going after you leave Brazil?
I'm going to go to Paraguay.
Paraguay. Okay. So
Yeah.
what's brewing inside that mind and that heart that you've got right now?
Well, we met through Stacy Lauren, who
Hmm?
does the Do the Thing. And so I've been just a part of that for not a real long time, but I wish I would have joined it way earlier. But I decided the thing that I need to do was start a group about adventure because
Hmm.
I know the amazing things that adventure can do for you. Even if you just start with the smallest thing, anything that's outside of your routine is a little mini adventure, and
Hmm.
it gets your imagination going. Gets you feeling good about yourself, and it's
Hmm.
it's so I've just started a group called Ignite Your Life. And we're going to we have a Facebook group, and then we're going to do an Ignite Your Life challenge where we offer you small adventures every day.
What's an example of a small adventure that you would put people in that are actually on a Facebook group?
Right. Well, like for you, a good one would be learn a phrase in a different language this
Okay.
week, or drive home a different way.
Yeah.
Make a list of 10 things that you can do within a 20-mile radius of your house that you haven't done before and plan to do one this weekend.
Okay.
Uh, think about think about an area that you're stuck in or that you're trying to come up with an idea or you have it, something, and then go on, they say take a walk for a reason, right? But
Right.
go hike somewhere where you haven't hiked before. Don't bring your phone. Just listen to the sounds and the music and see if you come back with an idea. Because a lot of times you do.
Yeah, yeah. I get most of my ideas just when I take the dog for a walk, as long as I don't have anything in my ear. I do well with that. So I love that. And we'll need to talk when we get off here because Christine and I are doing, we've got a Facebook group that's a challenge. It's a Dare to Date challenge. And so this is the second phase of it. And we're wanting to give them more challenges this time that are more adventures, more getting them outside their space. So a lot of it's inner reflective, but we're wanting to push them a little bit out. So we'll talk, and maybe you might want to come in as a guest expert for this series. It starts in
Yeah.
next month. So right now we're just
Okay.
doing pre-dares, but when it starts, it's 17 days. So if you're open for it, and we'll talk after we get off here. I don't want to waste our time here, but that sounds really exciting. I'm so excited you mentioned some of that because it's
Yeah.
exactly
So
what the
our
doctor
so
ordered.
our challenges are going to be 5 weeks long, and
Hmm.
then 3 times a year we're going to do a grand adventure. So anyone who does any challenge then can get in on the grand adventure. And
Nice, nice. I love it. I love it. So there's just so much going on in your world. So what is it that you have in your heart that is going to come from this? Have you got like this idea of, let's say it's a year from now and you're looking back and you're saying, wow, the things I wanted to happen actually happened, and what would that be?
well, I'm not sure because when I started this, it was really difficult for me to do. I'm the rare person who's like, okay, I should really spend more time on social media, but I don't. So starting like a Facebook group was kind of a challenge for me. But when I was in prayer about it, because I have the retreat business, and this is what I heard. I heard the retreat business is God's gift to me, and Ignite Your Life is my gift to the world.
Okay.
So that kind of was like, wow, now it's a big responsibility. No, but so then I said, okay, then I just have to let it come out how it comes out. And I'm not going to I'm not going to be putting demands on it and expecting this. I'm just going to see how it goes, because
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to when we do the three grand adventures each year, because then you get to be with those people. And I love traveling with people,
Mm-hmm.
and because you learn so much about them, and you see, just like with the retreats too, you just see
Then
people change.
blossom.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The
Yeah,
blossom and the, kind of the process that happens in people. And I just love that. I mean, I just
yeah,
love that. That's just so cool when someone comes in within this week, not at all that I did it, but I was a part of it to have something good happen for them and something truly life-changing. So
yeah,
that's what I love group will be about too.
yeah, beautiful. So,
Taking my own lesson because I have to now post on Facebook and
yeah, yeah.
live and do these things that are a little
Well,
bit
you don't have to, you get to.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
So
Yes.
if I could say from the things that you just said, I can envision a year from now that you look at the one of the adventures, the big grand adventures that you take with your group, and you realize how many of those people have fallen in love with the whole process and how much they've all grown in that amount of time. And you can almost look at every one of them and just see in their face how exhilarated they are with what they're doing. And I think that would be a beautiful, beautiful process to see.
Yeah, absolutely. To see someone go from sitting on the couch to going to a foreign country. I mean, my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
that's huge. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It sounds beautiful, and I'm sure it's going to happen. It's all going to be there.
that's right. Thank you. I'm going to
I can
agree with
I
you on
can
that.
feel it in my bones.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Well, I'm so glad that you're doing this too, because there's and you come at it from a different place. There are other people that have like adventure groups and things like that, but you've got a different heart with it, I feel. I mean, I can feel that from you. And so the people who are going to actually gravitate toward you are going to be perfect for having an adventure that sometimes is off the chain and sometimes it's just so relaxing they can't believe they've never done that either.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody gets what they need somehow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll have to definitely stay in touch. You never know what happens in the world, right? But I definitely am behind you, and I think it's a great thing that you're doing, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. And I appreciate all your kind words. You've got me super, super excited and energized.
Oh, good, good. Well, we're getting close to time. I was trying to keep it where I wouldn't go so long, as sometimes I make these things way too long, and then people kind of don't want to listen to the whole thing. We want to get all this beautiful goodness in. So if you could give our listeners one piece of advice that might help them with um, being more open to adventure, what would you tell them?
Well, I would say, there's a sweet spot between um, not doing something and being scared out of your wits.
Yeah.
I call it the Everest problem, where people are like, well, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest. I might as well just stay on the couch, you know?
Yeah.
But really, if you can find something that you can do, that's why you start small. Okay, today I'm going to drive home a different way. Today I'm going to put cinnamon in my tea. Today I'm going anything
Hmm.
because that you can enjoy. Because
Right.
it's not about pressure. It's not about trying to force yourself to take some adventure so that you can get a good idea. I mean,
Right.
that's obviously
Right.
not going to work.
Right.
But so just start with the smallest thing because then you activate your reticular activating system. If you make a list of 20 things that you want to do in your, immediate area, little adventures you can take, now you've got your brain thinking, what's another adventure? What's another adventure? And you get your brain looking for adventures. And then it becomes just so fun and so easy. And so, yeah, don't make it a pressure at all. If something feels like a pressure, do something smaller.
Yeah, that sounds great advice. I love that. I love that. I will just share really quick. One of this lady that I used to know, one of the things that she did, she said it felt daunting to travel places. So what she did was she painted little rocks and she would put her name on the back of it with a number, like she had like a website or something where people could go and register where they found these rocks. So she would put the rock somewhere and then she would put a little note with it, well, take this with you and leave it somewhere else. And so she said until she felt strong enough to just go places on her own, she sent her rocks ahead of her. and would keep track of those rocks. And they were, when I first saw them, it was like amazing. Some of them were very rudimentary, like a little ladybug, and some of them were intricate paintings of a house and just so many different things. Some of them were just words, but I thought that was a beautiful way to experience things until she got ready.
Yeah, yeah, that's a little adventure in itself
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
see where your rocks end up, you
I
know.
know. So she had a whole a little website that people would go to and just register the rock and where they found it, and then they move it on to another place.
Very cool. That's
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. So that's kind of what you're doing with people. You're painting a little rock and you're sending them on their way.
Well, I'm hopefully going to go with them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
It's a pair
yeah.
of rocks, a pair of
You
rocks.
know, I've been in Peru so long now. It's like I gotta other places so I can go with them. I know for sure we're going to go to Morocco.
Hmm.
The next is the one that I've got planned for, do Peru, do Morocco, and we'll see after that. But I've got so many places I would love to go. So I'd be happy
Ah,
to take people with
beautiful.
me.
Yeah, beautiful. I can't wait to hear all the adventures that happen from that. Well, thank you so much again for being here. And I want to remind all of our watchers and listeners to make sure if you have a question for Laura, you make sure you put it in the comments and make that way Laura can get to it and just kind of maybe answer whatever's got going on. But how would they get in touch with you if they wanted to reach you? Now, I will put things in the show notes, but for those that aren't looking at that, might be listening or watching, how would they reach you?
Right. So you can go to Facebook. The group is called Ignite Your Life. One spark of adventure is all you need. So the Facebook group is a good place. Otherwise, I can just give my email address. It's Laura at retreatsandtoursperu.com.
All right, beautiful. So you've heard it. Reach out and but like I said, the information will be in the show notes. And whatever you do, make sure that you start your adventure now. Small or big, it's an adventure,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
All right. So thank you for being here and thank you guys for watching and listening, and we will see you soon. Mwah.